Okay, there we go. That looks good. Waripi-doo-ah. Hello there, ladies and gents. Gentlemen of ill repute and ladies of the evening. All are welcome. None are excluded, except for the stupids. But they are excluded from everything, are they not?
It's almost like the consistency of earwax.
It comes out of his eye hole, though.
Yeah.
Dinor's got eye wax. Gets crusties in his corners of his eyes. Yeah, it's pretty stank, man. I don't know what it is. I don't pretend to know. I don't even pretend to have a guess at what it is. Woo! The wise man on the mountain has returned. That's true. You got a good point there. Just got back from cutting wood. Look at you. You fucking studly lumberjack of a man, you. You studly lumberjack of a man. Out there chip chopping wood. Hello, Mr. Zigo. Hello. It's forever scrolling, looking for something to watch. Yeah, that's all of us these days, isn't it? The doom scroll. I find that I doom scroll more at night than during the day. It's almost exclusively like a bed activity for me. I'm like laying down, enjoying the nice, cool bed. Flip through my phone, pop them shorts open, and just let it take me wherever it takes me. As much as I bitch about it, there are fun things about the internet that I would probably, like, if 20-year-old me saw old me bitching about it, he'd probably slap me in the mouth. Like, number one, being able to, like, find any song in, like, 10 seconds, if you know what you're doing, that's pretty dope. We didn't have that. Back in the day, we had to circumvent that in several different ways. One of them involving sailing the briny sea. But now, other people are doing the pirating, and you can just watch the illegal uploads of shit. Isn't that great? That's pretty fantastic. Same thing with movies, too. I bitch a lot about, like, there's like 90 different subscription services, blah, blah, blah. But the truth of the matter is, if you get a subscription service and there's a movie on there that, or a movie you want to watch that isn't on there, the briny seas await. Hey, what up, Zeke? Dude, I said I was going to hit you up today, and I didn't fucking do it. I'm an idiot. What you up to, Zeke? You want to come by and have some pizza tonight? I think me and Amelia are just getting a pizza, bro. You could cruise by. You could sit out here. You could do a ideology. You could chief a blunt. Whatever you want, man. I know it's last minute. But we do have a pizza coming. We definitely ain't going to eat all that. Be real easy to DoorDash some fucking beers and just fucking set it off. It's the current subject. There really isn't one yet. I'm just kind of fucking chilling, letting it wind up, etc. I too would like some pizza. You're not invited. Specifically only you. Everybody else can have a slice, but except you, Matt Blank, because I know what you are, dude. You're a pizza thief. You're one of those guys that'll see a pizza at a party, wait till nobody's looking, and pull a pepperoni off and eat it. I can smell you types from fucking 10 miles away, bro. You pepperoni snitching types. Look one shoulder. Look the other shoulder. Pepperoni disappears off the pie. I know you, dude. I see you, Matt Blank. I see you.
Zeke say no.
Zeke didn't answer. I think I might have taken Zeke for a loop. It's cool, dude. We can do it some other day. It ain't no big deal. We gotta have some pizza. Either way, we're getting some pizza. No pizza, no brownies. That's not nice. No pasta salad. You guys miss out on everything, bro. We eat good over here, as you can tell. You get a slice and they're just pepperoni footprints all over. Yeah, the little grease stains that let you know there used to be a pepperoni there, and you know exactly which friend does it because they always do it, and they deny it. I know, bro. For sure, buddy. For sure, buddy, you want to cruise by and have some pizza, or for sure, buddy, you want to do it later? Either way is fine with me. Either way, we'll come up with a different day. But, yeah, man, we ain't got shit going on. You can cruise by now if you want. Where's the pizza coming from? Papa Murphy's Take and Bake, baby. The only way to do it. The only way to do it. A rip-it-do. Ah. How that you're semi-vegetarian, you need to try mushroom pizza and cheese pizza. You think dude, thanks for the tip, but you, legitimately, do you think I never had cheese pizza? Or like a mushrooms? I'm 44 years old and I'm fat as the fucking harvest moon. I've turned down extra slices, more extra slices of cheese pizza than you've eaten, sir. I've probably eaten enough cheese pizzas to feed Italy for a month on my own.
Very few pizzas you haven't tried.
I've eaten some crazy shit on a pizza.
Had pepperoni, or not, jalapeno pineapple.
Jalapeno pineapple is a dank one. Back in my meatier days, I had some crazy meats on some pizzas. Like I had a bison barbecue pizza one time. Where instead of sauce, you had the barbecue. You had big chunks of like medium rare bison steak. Shit was fire. I had broccoli cheese pizza one time with a cheese sauce instead of marinara. Not so fire. I had a macaroni and cheese pizza one time. Sounds dank, big regrets. Waste of money, that one was. But you try anyway. Dude, there are some coyotes.
Yeah.
I keep hearing coyotes. That little fucking coyote wail they do. There's some coyote. There's a pack of coyotes around today. Hunting a rabbit.
So you in more of a jalapeno pineapple mood or like a mushroom olive mood?
Whatever. You know what? Your mood dictates it tonight. Whatever you want. Either one of those is fine, or something different is fine.
Well, you just had olives and a pasta salad, so I think I'm going to do the jalapeno pineapple if you're cool with it.
Done deal. Let's do it. Chicken curry pizza. Yeah, man. There's a place called... I can't remember what it is. I think it's just called Curry Pizza. It's like a little shop. It's not even far from here. And they do DoorDash. And I got one time when Amelia was out of town. And it was just like a vegan curry pizza. And I was like, dude, this is actually good. I thought I was going to regret this. So bright out, you on the West Coast? Of course. Of course I am. Does it look like I could literally survive anywhere but the West Coast?
You want cookies or no?
You could do some cookies? I'm
Gotta
having some
remember
cookies.
to actually do it this time.
Yeah, we gotta remember to eat the cookies.
Yeah.
Make the cookies and eat the cookies, or at least eat the dough.
Alright, that's all you want. Zeke's not coming.
I don't think Zeke is coming, no. But even if he was,
We can
we could order some
we
shit.
can have some jalapeno.
Yeah,
pineapple
dude.
Pizza.
Ain't nothing wrong with no jalapeno pineapple. I don't think Zeke gonna turn up his nose at no jalapeno pineapple. He know how to pick off a pineapple if you don't want it, or a jalapeno. That's how you do it. You don't bitch about what's on a pizza. You say thank you, and then you pick off the fucking anchovy or whatever the fuck, and you eat that motherfucker. I would love to see Paul in the Midwest. Dude, I get the feeling that if I stopped for anything more than gas or a quick hamburger in some states, that they wouldn't even fucking let me go beyond a certain point. They'd be like, sir, excuse me, sir, to California. If you want to travel through this state, sir, you're going to have to turn your California volume level down from 11 to at least a 5. We really don't tolerate that around here. Oh, look at that. Zeke said jalapeno pineapple is the best. You changing your mind, Zeke? You feel like you might want a big, fat, juicy slice of jalapeno pineapple? Either way, it's going to be here.
We're just ordering it now because there's been so many times where we forgot and we're stuck with other pizza.
Well, our eating schedule is like, I just had my first meal.
Yeah.
Of the day.
Lunch was at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, I had my first meal of the day. Really the first thing I ate today.
Yeah.
So our eating schedule is a little different than other people's.
And there's been so many times where like I'm craving a Papa Murphy's and it's like 9 o'clock and they're closed.
Yeah. That last time I got cucked was real sad.
Yeah.
They closed at like 8:30 and it was like 8:25 when I started ordering it and I didn't make it. I was like, sorry, this place is closed. I'm like, fuck. Ruined my whole outlook on life, bro.
And the nice thing about that is we can get it now, put it in the fridge, and then put it in the oven later.
Exactly, that's the point. Spent the day in the sun and I'm wiped out though. Wish I could just walk over like before. That would be fire. Dude, if you could just like, I don't know, man, do some neighborhood terrorism to make them people leave. Make them old people sell that place cheap. I'll consider it. Although now I think I'm going to a better place. I think I don't want that place anymore.
I don't know. What if it was only like $100,000?
I mean, I'd fucking. There's nothing that you can get in Madera for $100,000, so I would snap that up. I would like to see that property because we were prepared to pay a lot of money for that property. I would like to see that property at something like
175,
175, 185, maybe 200 top. I'd snatch that up for breakfast. You in the Central Valley? Yes, sir. What is it now? I haven't looked, bro. Amelia could look it up. She could look up that
well,
Zillow.
I don't think it's for sale. So
But they do an estimate.
I know, but the estimate's not factoring in that it has no water. That's not on the record.
True, but it'll give you an idea of what they think a lot that size and a house that old would be worth. We might be overpaying at 200. I don't fucking know. Hey, Paul. Hope you're happy and doing well. Which, by the looks of it, you are. I am. Thanks for the well wishes.
They're estimating it at 337.
Not a chance. Not a
That's
snowball's
not factoring
chance.
in any of the problems that it has.
No. I wouldn't pay a penny over 200K for that fucking property in the shape that it's in. It's got a fucking dry well. It's got, it's fallen apart. I mean, it was not well maintained. It's got a deck that somebody built and never finished, so they never stained the wood. So that deck is like half rotten, ready to fall over. It's got ancient windows on it that look like they were installed with the house, just like any.
The AC is ancient.
The
too.
AC is like from 1976 and it's on its last leg. Like, there's a lot of work that needs to be done to that house to make it livable. And I ain't paying no 330K for a house that's fallen into the footprint. They're all $1.5 million here. Water is going to be piped in permanently soon. Yeah, man. That's the way it is, bro. There ain't no way, dude. Not a fucking snowball's chance in hell they'd get a $500,000 for that property out of me. Not a snowball. Nope. Especially looking at what I can get where we're moving. Like, not to, because I don't know what we're going to do, but Amelia and I have been looking at like shit for sale in the town we're looking at. And it's like, fuck. especially given the location. We're talking about the house we're talking about that they want $500,000 for, probably, is in the middle of fucking California in a cow town that's in the deadly grip of a fucking drought. The fucking, well, I mean, now the drought is kind of lessened.
Well, they're saying that this winter looks like it's going to be a dry winter. Looks like we might slip back into the drought.
See? It's like nothing, like you're adjacent to everything because you're in California, but you're about as far from everything as you can get and still be in California. Like you're right in the middle, so you got to drive 2-3 hours to get anywhere, at least. Sometimes 9 or 10, depending. So it's like, fuck, man. And where we're moving, well, I mean, you guys saw when I was there, those of you that watched, beach, trees, woods, mountains. And I can buy a piece of property with all of that amenity for like half what they're asking or less for a fucking dried out shithole in Madera. That ain't good, bro. But this area is blowing up. Like exploding in size right now, man. It is like sad for the reason why, too. People are living here and commuting sometimes 6 hours a day, twice a day, because it's cheaper here than it is in places like LA and the Bay. And so it is exploding. The amount of people that live in a little shit kind of cow town like Madera or Merced or Chowchilla and work in Fresno is already huge. People already doing a 40-minute commute to work 2 ways. So
probably closer to an hour. Talking about
rush hour, exactly. So I'm being real nice saying 45 minutes 2 ways. More like an hour and 22 ways.
Yeah.
And that's living fucking right next door to the town. You're talking about people living in Fresno and driving into the Bay at rush hour every fucking day? Hey, Naughty Priest, what up, dog? Matthew Baumgartner, you found a cheap beach area, East Coast or West Coast? I ain't saying shit, bro. You ain't snapping up nothing underneath. I'll tell you, you'll figure it out after I'm there. Trust me. People, it won't be long before people figure out where I'm at.
It is a town where we got an affordable hotel right on the water. We'll say that.
Yeah, a town where you can get a relatively cheap hotel with a big, beautiful balcony, and it's literally like 100 feet of wilderness between you and the sea. It is a town. You know, you can probably guess it, but it is a town that is not easy to get to by land, sea, or air. You getting there typically involves driving through a bunch of windy fucking mountain pass type of driving. There's nothing close to it either, so it's not like it's adjacent to something. That's why a lot of the property is so cheap.
Yeah, because there ain't no jobs.
You're talking like if you want to get to a big city, not a little town that might have something that that town doesn't, but a big city, it's like 2.5 hours, right? At least to get to a big city. It's shithole towns all up in the mountains and stuff, and the place we picked is right smack in the middle of that. So the hardest place to get to probably on the list. Because people coming north, it's easier that way. People coming south, it's easier that way. Right in the middle of it though, I don't know. What do you think about gun rights? Everybody's got the right to own a gun, but they have to demonstrate that they're mentally sound to exercise it. That's what I believe about guns.
Well, they can exercise that right safely.
Safely, that's what I mean. Mentally sound, competent enough to make sure that a round doesn't come through my wall because you mishandled your gun and kill my dog or me or my wife.
Or that your toddler doesn't fucking grab it.
All right, your toddler doesn't grab it and fire off 6 rounds and kill one of his little friends accidentally. You see? If you can demonstrate that you're a reasonable person and you know how to handle and store a firearm safely, there should be nothing standing between you and pretty much any gun you want. I'd say, like, you know, you start getting into missile launchers, we can have I don't think you get that. But yeah, if you want a gun, big old 50 cal sniper rifle or something to go shoot at cans on a fucking car, dilapidated car half a mile away on some buddy's land or whatever the fuck, do it. You fuck up once though. See, here's where I lose a lot of gun people. You fuck up once and show yourself to be an irresponsible gun owner, you don't get to own guns no mo. And if you're caught with one, you go to prison. Ooh, that's where they're fine with the responsibility talk, but they're not fine with what happens if you're not responsible, ever. I've had I've started that out. I've had Trumpers and gun nut people come in here and go like, oh, but this guy hates guns. And I'll tell them that, and they'll go based, and then I'll go, but with responsibility comes consequence. Oh, fuck that, you're fascist, you're gun. Yeah, it's just like, you just want to be a local yokel that gets to endanger everybody else because you think guns are cool. That's not the way it works, homeboy. Well, it is actually the way it works. That's not the way it would work if I were in charge. Local yokel, you want to show it off to your friends, you can do that as long as you're safe. But you get caught being unsafe once, not twice, not 3 strikes and you're out, once, you never own a gun again. And if you're caught with one, you go to prison. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, you're in possession of an illegal firearm. See you in 2 years. Hope you learned your lesson. It's the only way. It's the only way.
Those school shootings were because the parent just left it out for their kid to grab.
Oh yeah. The big one that comes to mind immediately is Sandy Hook. Yeah. Adam Lanza, I believe, did Sandy Hook. Was the kid's name. It was. In fact, I know it was. Adam Lanza's mother had a rifle that was made for hunting deer, high capacity, high velocity hunting rifle, and an autistic son who, among other things, was known for his violent outbursts. Mrs. Lanza decided that it was her right to own a gun and keep it however she wanted, and so she just put it in a cabinet somewhere with no lock on it. One day, little Adam, the autistic guy that needs help, that needs supervision, that needs to be in a safe place, away from things that he could harm himself with or others, takes advantage of the fact that his mother's at work at a school and decides he's going to grab his mom's hunting rifle, go to the school she works at, kill a bunch of teachers and a bunch of children with it. Do you know what happened to Adam Lanza's mom as a result of her being so unbelievably irresponsible as to allow an almost nonverbal autistic kid to get his hands on a high-capacity machine gun? Do you know what happened to her? Nothing. She didn't have to face the consequences because luckily he blew her the fuck away with her own gun. Had she survived that attack, she would have been on every news story crying about how she didn't know, she didn't know, she didn't know. Not a day in jail and no restriction of her future gun ownership would have resulted in that tragedy. From that tragedy. Kindergarten children lying in pools of blood next to their teachers. What happened to the kid? He killed himself. Right? No. Did they catch Lanza?
Let's go back.
I know the kid looks like Beaker from the Muppets. That's all I remember about him.
They said that he was probably anorexic.
I don't know what he was. He's in jail. I thought he offed himself. I thought he did the dirty deed and then turned it around. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of another one. It's so sad. There's so many now. You get them mixed up. You get the facts mixed up.
Yeah, it says including the perpetrator.
Yeah.
So he died.
Yeah, he shot himself. So nobody was held to any responsibility in that horrible tragedy, and no lesson was learned.
Well, they They got a wrongful death lawsuit against Remington that was settled for $73 million.
That happens every time there's a mass shooting. It's part and parcel of doing business as a gun owner. Is they've had to admit in court over and over again that they know that their weapons are dangerous as fuck, and if left unsecured or handled improperly will just murder a whole room full of people, and that makes them responsible. If I bought a car that they knew killed people for just minor accidents on a whim, and I died in it, and you found internal documents or prior court cases where they had to admit in court, yeah, our car's a death trap, you get paid. But the gun companies don't want to go out of business, so they make room in their budgets for the $73 million fee that they pay out to families every time a classroom of kids gets butchered. And they keep raking in money hand over fist because in America, the dollar is king.
Well, I think they're starting to prosecute parents more for leaving their guns out.
It's willy-nilly, spotty,
Yeah.
mostly concentrated in northern or western states when you find, or eastern, never in the Midwest, never in the South. So that whole swathe of the country is just yeehaw, yeehaw, oops, I killed my neighbor, whoops-a-daisy, y'all. You know what I mean? That don't work. Dude, I'm right in Texas right now. Let me tell you something that would be legal in Texas right now. You go on Craigslist or like Tumblr or like fucking Instagram, right? And you say, hey, I got a big LMG with a fucking 200 round magazine grandfathered in for sale. Meet me in the Walmart parking lot and bring cash. Right? You show up at the Walmart parking lot. You pull up right next to a cop. Cop sees the guy handling a big machine gun and you fiddling with your wallet. Cop goes, howdy do, folks. See any black folks around? You say, no, officer. He says,
weed smokers?
yeah, smell any weed smoke on the wind? No, sir, officer. All right, well, if you see something that needs law enforcement, let me know. Yes, sir, officer. Howdy, sir. You selling that big giant LMG with the high cap 200 round magazine that's illegal to purchase, but it's grandfathered in? Why, yes, I am, sir. Are you the one looking to purchase it? Actually, no. My retarded son, Gregory, is the one that would like to purchase it. Meet Gregory. Gregory reaches into his fanny pack, pulls out a handful of $100 bills and throws it on the ground and pees on it. The guy goes, all right, Gregory, all right, calm down. Hands him an LMG and they drive away and no law was broken. That's called a legal private transfer of a firearm. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm literally giving you a scenario that is 100% unambiguously legal in Texas right now. Right now. There's nobody stopping it. The cops implicitly allow it because they're gun nuts. There's a state statute that allows for transfer of weapons. People lie on the transfer paperwork and saying they're transferring to a friend or family member, which will get them a deferment of the federal waiting period and the background check and everything else. And they yee-haw away with a retarded kid and a machine gun.
I feel like it shouldn't be ever allowed to be sold as a gift to any minor.
Nor should it allowed to be inherited. Do you know that if a grandfather wills his machine gun collection that he's been doing since the 20s to his 8-year-old grandson, that 8-year-old grandson becomes the owner of an arsenal that could arm a small militia?
Like if there's any
Retarded.
If there's any evidence that it's like, oh, here's a social media picture, he got this machine gun for his birthday, immediate relinquishment.
This is unbelievable. Private sale loophole isn't exclusive to Texas. I know that. I know that. I'm just telling you where it's rampant. Because the loophole gets closed out here in the West. If I pulled up with a machine gun in a Walmart parking lot, the cops would swarm me before the retarded kid could pull the snot-covered $100 bills out of his fanny pack and hand them to me. There'd be no loophole for Paul's ego here in good old California. No little no state statute that allows you to defer a federal background check when transferring to a good friend. Howdy, sir. My name's Paul. Howdy, sir. My name's Big Tex. Now we're friends. I have an arsenal. I've got $10 million. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you much. The actually guys are gonna fucking ban the actually guy Taylor Gay. I know we're not talking about California, and I didn't say it was illegal to own a machine gun in fucking California. I said it was illegal to straw purchase a machine gun and do a private sale transfer in California. California has a state statute that makes you go to prison if you do that, circumventing federal law. Texas has no state statute. Texas, in fact, has a Texas statute that allows you to defer the federal paperwork if you're transferring between a family or a friend. Unbelievable, these fucking actually guys, bro. Never engage with anything you say. No, it isn't. It's not. It's 100% impertinent. Not even a gotcha. Comes tumbling out of their mouths like it's fucking truth from on high, and it's just retardism.
Yeah, it's like, I got a fun fact.
Yeah, did you know that you actually can buy a machine gun in California? Yes, dumb fuck. That's not what we're talking about, though. Knock, 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 knock. Sorry, guys, that's mean. I take it all back. He's fine. That's mean-spirited. Exactly, dude. If I go buy a Ferrari and then I give it to a 14-year-old kid in exchange for a $100 bill and he goes and wipes out a family, guess whose door they're knocking on first? Police department, come out with your fucking hands up. For some reason, I can do that with a machine gun. Why? I can't do it with a car that isn't designed for the sole purpose of murdering people. But I can take a modern murder machine and sell it with no paperwork in Texas and everything fine. But that's my rights. You also have a right to unimpeded travel in the United States. That don't mean you get a car, though. That's in the Bill of Rights, too. Unimpeded travel in the greater United States. That doesn't mean the United States grants you a car. You can ride your thumb if you don't have one, but the U.S. ain't gonna subsidize that neither. You see? But for some reason, that Second Amendment, the only thing they care is at the end of it, they never want to read the front. A well-regulated militia is the object of that sentence. They want to ignore that, and they want to say, shall not be infringed. All right, buddy. You keep on cherry picking. The state's going to be filled with dead school children, and you're going to be wondering why. Keep right on cherry picking, though.
Those western states got big problems, too. Like, we did that school shooter episode, and you covered Washington, one of the most liberal states.
Yep. Maggoty with mass shootings and school shootings. See, the problem is that there's no federal blanket legislation that would supersede state law on firearm transfers. There needs to be a blanket federal law establishing a new bureaucratic compound for firearm management. There needs to be, just like there's a DMV at the states, there needs to be an Office of Firearm Safety and Management. You go to a gun store, you buy a gun, the guy takes the money, runs the background check, he says you passed, congratulations, your gun will be waiting you at the federal gun safety and regulation facility. It's right down on Olive Avenue. You wait the 2 days for the full government background check to pass through the paperwork. You go down to the DMV for guns. There's a guy waiting for you. Says, hello, is your name Paul Zigo? You say, yes, sir, my name is Paul Zigo. And you're here for the Sig Sauer. Yes, sir, I'm here for the Sig Sauer. Have you ever handled a Sig Sauer or an assault rifle before? Yes, sir, I own 3. I can see that here on your paperwork. All right, then you've been through this. We're gonna do the safety demonstration. Please pick up the Sig Sauer off the table and show me proper trigger and barrel discipline. All right, sir, that's a pass. Please look down the barrel of the weapon before handing it to your instructor. Thank you very much. Please receive the weapon safely. What do you plan on using for a security device on this weapon, sir? I've got a trigger guard I use. Can you tell me the brand? Loctite. That's a good one, sir. You already own the Loctite? I do. And you're planning on installing it as soon as you secure this weapon in the back of your vehicle? Yes, sir, I do. All right, here's a written test on gun safety. You passed, sir. Here's your Sig Sauer. I didn't say look down the barrel. I said look down the chamber, you fucking idiot. By the way, you do that to make sure there's not a round chambered, even if you know there ain't.
And if you're
Dumb
checking it the
fucks,
wrong
man.
way, like if you point it to your
Get
face,
Zed out. Get Zed out. Get him out. Kick him. Kick him. Boot him. Boot him. Gone. If I said barrel, I meant fucking chamber, idiot. You think I think you turn the gun around to look down the barrel? Fuck off. I'm not a gun expert, but I was raised around guns of all types. I've fired pretty much every major type of gun that you can fire, from hunting rifles to pistols to, yes, semi-automatic and automatic weapons. I know how to look down the chamber to make sure I don't have a fucking round chambered. I know how to hand a gun to a person without pointing it at anybody or ever letting my finger get near the trigger. I know how to operate the safety on a number of weapons and can figure it out if I don't know how. Where did I do that out? I was born and raised in Madera, California. My parents are blue-collar workers who owned a big swath of land, about 9 acres or so. We'd set up bales of hay, targets, and fire in the direction that there were no houses all the fucking time. And our neighbors did the same. What's your favorite gun? I'm partial to pump action shotguns. I particularly like a pump action 12 gauge. I think that's a pretty mean gun. I liked skeet shooting. That was my favorite part. I wasn't a big target shooter guy.
and you get to go.
That racking sound is something else, bro. I'm of the mind that if you are a gun owner, you don't even need to put bullets in your shotgun. It would be stupid if you didn't, because a shotgun without bullets is pretty worthless. But I think if you hear somebody sneaking through a window and they hear that rack, I think they're about to go back through the window and go the other way. So I kind of feel like that's all you need. My girlfriend just doom scrolled into you at the same time as me and our audios overlapped. That's fucking kind of creepy. Welcome, though. We're talking about common sense gun regulation with a bunch of people that think there should be none. Can you make the pump sound again? I like to shoot skeet. Skeet shooting is when you say pull, and there's either an arm mechanism that gets triggered. The way I used to do it is we would sling them. Sling a little clay pigeon that's meant to fly. It goes up, you bring up your thing, you sweep the barrel across it and get a lead on it, and pow! And it goes, and it feels great. Over and unders are my favorite. They're perfect for bird hunting. Improved cylinder on the bottom, mod, choke on top. Yeah, I'm kind of agnostic to brand. I'm not a brand guy. But the shotgun that I learned on was what was the brand on that shotgun? It was a Winchester, and I think it was a pretty fucking good gun. You barely shoot in front of it? Not in front of it. You have to realize it takes a while for your shot to reach the bird or the pigeon, right? And so the pigeon has an arc to it. You've got to shoot it kind of towards the top of its arc by guessing where it's going to go after the top, right? So if it's here and you shoot, you want to shoot around here, because by the time your pellets get to it, it's going to be dropping. Boom. So it takes a little practice, but once you kind of get it, it happens in video games a lot, right? Where you have to lead a target because it's going fast. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? It's the same thing in skeet. Just a little easier because you're shooting out a cloud of pellets and not just a single thing, right? It's not like you're a fucking sniper, right? But it feels really good. It's really satisfying when you get especially a direct hit. Sometimes you'll get a glancing hit and it's like, I got it, but it was off center somehow. But when that little motherfucker blows up in midair, and you know you just pulled it just right, that's the best feeling in the world, man. Or like with a gun for me. Like that was the only like sport gun stuff I ever really enjoyed doing. I mean, I didn't hate target shooting, and I really liked it when somebody would bring a weapon I'd never fired before and let me handle it and learn it and shoot it. But as far as that goes, that was more fun to me than like endlessly target shooting. Like sometimes they'd just do it for hours, bro. And I was little, you know, I was like 8 when they started letting me fire off certain weapons. Like I think I fired off a little .22 rifle when I was 8. And then by the time I was 10, I did a Glock. By the time I was 12, they were putting me on a shotgun and the rifles when they were doing it. And like I loved doing that. And if they were shooting skeet, I'd do that all night, bro. I never got to try a 50 cal anything. So that's a gap in my thing. I did fire a big ass sniper rifle one time, or I guess more like a hunting rifle with a big like 120x scope on it or something. And of course I didn't hit anywhere near where I thought I was aiming, even though I thought I was going to be good at it. But yeah, I remember I didn't get to fire it much because the ammunition was expensive.
Well, probably California, like, you have to have a very special permit to have a 50 cal in California. So that's probably
well, keep in mind this was the 80s and 90s, so I don't know if that permit existed back then. But I never ran across a Barrett or a 50 cal machine gun, like a mounted machine gun, or like a saw. I never got to fire something big and heavy like that. That choom 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 choom. It's cool. I mean, I'm a dork for it, but I never got to fire it. Are guns cool or not? Yeah, they're cool. They're also incredibly dangerous. It's like, that's like asking, so are the X Games cool or not? Well, yeah. But the people are risking a broken neck and instant death when they do them fucking 40-foot backflips on their dirt bikes and shit, right? Yeah. Yeah, dude, guns can be cool. They're really neat weapons. I love firing them off safely, and I don't think I could ever have the heart to aim it at a living thing and kill with it. I'm not a hunter type. But as far as like shooting clay pigeons or just shooting around on the farm or whatever, fuck yeah, man, that's a day to me. Y'all have some in-depth knowledge about guns. I don't know anything. That's okay. I mean, It's just like a lot of people, I think, assume because they look at me, they hear I'm from California, they hear that I'm for like a stricter gun control and like a federal program that blankets the states to make sure that people are being safe with their guns and that dangerous people can't have them, right? They hear that and they think, oh, there's probably some liberal that's afraid of gun, never pick one up, never, and that's just not true. Like, I'm speaking as a lifelong gun user. I'm speaking as a guy that knows how to be safe with guns. And how to load them, I know how to unload them, I know how to reload them. I know how to make sure the safety is on and the barrel is away from anybody I'm handing it to. I know how to do that properly. I know how to receive a gun without letting my finger slip and it fires off, right? I know how to hold a gun while I'm not using it, depending on what you're doing, right? I know how to put my finger across the trigger guard like that and never let it go through the loop until I'm ready to fire. You see? Oh, I didn't know Nugs was in here. Nugs, I'm sorry about earlier. I just had to leave. I had to go. It was, you know, I didn't mean to it was the vibe room, bro. And I just pissed on the vibe and that was disrespectful. So I'm sorry for that. But you know me, I get fired up. And when I feel like somebody's like asking me to talk with them, but they're never listening when I talk, I get real fired up. And that's kind of how I felt today. But I just wanted to say sorry, Nugs. No disrespect needed. I'll clean it up. It's not my house. Guns are not cool. All right, buddy. Okay, we know. Virtue signal a little harder. It's cool. I'm sure when you were a kid, you never went pew, 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 right? Yeah, okay, bud. You were the kid that was like, hey, little buddy, do you want to watch a movie filled with Ninja Turtles and machine guns? No, guns are lame. You're the only kid in America that did that, right? The only kid in the world that did that, sure.
My dad didn't let me even have water pistols.
Right? Some people are fucking hardcore about it. And if they had no intention of teaching you about guns or ever having one around you, good on them. Why put it in your head if you're never going to have fucking access to it? The only reason I was showed about it wasn't to like, let's indoctrinate the boy into guns, because they had guns around. That's how you're safe. When your kids get old enough, you show them. So they know better not to touch. They know how dangerous. And if they do have to touch, they know how. Right? That's all it was. Guns should be legal for self-protection, and if they take guns away, they're dumb. You should be able to have any number of guns you want within reason. I mean, letting somebody fill an entire house filled with weapons is kind of stupid, but you get my drift. Like, most people want 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 guns, fine. You can have it, but if you fuck up once with your weapon, accidental discharge that blows somebody's foot off, your kid gets a hold of it and drills into a neighbor's fucking yard and kills their dog, it gets robbed out of your house and it was found to be unsecured at the time it was robbed. Any of those infractions and a number of others that show you to be really irresponsible and actually a dangerous person to be in possession of such a very dangerous weapon, you don't get to own a weapon ever again. And that seems fair to me because I'm a gun guy. I can own a gun. I don't talk about guns and whether or not I own them, but let's just say, okay? I've been around guns my whole life, okay? And I will never, ever, under my own system, lose the right to own a gun. You know why? Because any theoretical gun that I may own will never be found unsecured by a robber, will never be grabbed by a child accidentally, will never be tossed around at a drunken party in my house because it's cool, right? So I can guarantee you that my weapon will never, ever accidentally kill a person. So my licensure under my program is assured. And I think that most gun owners are in the same boat. But the ones that aren't leave their guns laying around and then their son picks it up and kills a kindergartner class with it. Naughty, naughty. You never get to own a gun again. Your child got a gun and shot himself with it? Oh man, condolences. Please give me all your firearms and present me your firearms license. It is hereby revoked. If you're caught anywhere in the United States in possession of a firearm from now until the day you die, you will get a mandatory 2-year sentence. Thank you for playing. Sorry to have to be harsh, but I'm not going to let you noodle another kid. Only criminals don't follow the law? Cool. So now you've established my position, right? You got the new regulatory state. Somebody in Chicago shoots some other gang member, right? A weapon is found. That weapon has no serial number. That weapon is destroyed, right? Then, after looking at the weapon before destruction, you see evidence that it was purchased at a shop 20 miles outside of Chicago where it's legal. So you follow that shop up. That shop owner now has to account for how a street piece ended up on the street. Who'd you sell this to? He goes through his books, gives you the footage of the guy that he sold it to. Here, right here, Mark James. Let's go visit Mr. James. Mr. James says, that gun was stolen out of my house, sir. Stolen out of a gun safe, sir? No, I had it up on the top shelf. Your gun license is revoked. Your gun was used in a murder. You can no longer purchase weapons. Do you understand what I've just told you? Yes, officer. If you're caught with a weapon again, anywhere in the United States or its territories, you get a mandatory 2-year sentence in federal prison. Do you understand, sir? Yes. Do you have any other weapons? I have a shotgun. I can see that on your file. Please present me with the weapon properly. I'm going to take this weapon down for destruction. Have a nice day, sir. You may not solve the murder, but you stopped a street piece manufacturer. Where do you think these guns on the street come from, guys? Do you think they're growing them out back somewhere underneath a fucking tarp? These guns are sold legally. And then they're straw purchased, stolen, improperly lost on a camping trip because you were drunk. Somebody gets it. Somebody shoots it. Too authoritarian? Sorry. Sorry. If you can't submit yourself to a basic safety test to prove that you're not a retard with a gun, I'm not sorry. You can't have one then. Fuck you. Same way you can't drive a car if you're not willing to go in and demonstrate your competence on one. Fuck you. Get caught with it, go to jail. Sounds pretty fair to me. Sounds like a pretty fair fucking shake to me. Sounds like that well-regulated part of the Second Amendment. How do you reach people who think that's an overreach? I don't think you do. I think you work hard to unseat the duopoly, and I think that you ride a wave of labor populism and economic populism to a sweeping fucking victory, and you institute it and let people mauled. That's how everything has always happened when an expansion of rights. Do you think everybody was like, when they heard black people got to go to the polls, do you think everybody was like, well, guess that's the way it is? Hell no. There were federal poll enforcers in the South for over 2 decades. Because people were like, fuck that. You wait for people to come along, you never get anything done. Sorry. Now that's authoritarian. Sorry. Well-regulated means well-trained. Yeah, and well-trained means able to demonstrate safety, knows how to store a weapon so that it's not used against them or found by an enemy. Yep, well-trained, exactly. Exactly, Walter Greenwood. I agree. Well-regulated means well-trained. How well-trained is the straw purchase going on in fucking Texas? Who's watching that? Yeah, I totally agree, man. You thought you were going to find a sticking point with me, but I 100% agree. Well-regulated is synonymous with well-trained. And all I'm asking is that you're well-trained before you buy a weapon. And that if you show, despite your training, that you're a retard with that weapon, you don't get to own them no more. There you go. You're in violation of the well-regulated part of the Second Amendment. Uh-oh! Not only is it a good idea, but it's fucking straight constitutional too. Ruh-roh. Now what? Nothing well regulated about a hillbilly selling a machine gun to another hillbilly in a Walmart parking lot and nobody watching. You want to argue that that's regulated? I'm going to laugh in your face. You want to argue that the Second Amendment well-regulated clause doesn't matter? I'm going to laugh you in your face. You're not a constitutionalist. You're a cherry picker. Cherry picker, cherry picker, cherry picker. You want all the benefit but none of the responsibility. And letting people like you run crazy with guns, look what happens. Uvalde, Newtown, Littleton, right? The list goes on, the list goes on, the list goes on, and it gets dank and stank and rank. And you know what's behind every one of those shootings? Somebody was sold a weapon that they never should have had. Or was given access to a weapon they never should have been able to put their finger through the trigger guard of. Every last one of them. Sandy Hook. Keep them coming. Every last one of them would have been prevented with simple gun safety, training, well-regulated militia. Maybe that's why the founders put it in there. Even back when it was just a single-shot musket ball with no rifling in the barrel and very inaccurate, maybe they knew you could blow somebody's face off with it if you fucked around. So they put well-regulated at the beginning. That sounds constitutional to me. Can't sell Texas and machine guns either? Or you can't sell machine guns in Texas either? Tell me you don't live in Texas without telling me you don't live in Texas. Have you heard of a federal deferment for family transfer? Mr. Greenwood, sir, Mr. Texas? Have you heard of a Texas state federal deferment for family and friend transfer of a firearm, sir? Yes or no? All federal requirements for firearms transfer are superseded in the event of a family or friend transfer. Yeehaw! Brrr. If you can't sell machine guns in Texas, why are there so many goddamn machine guns in Texas, Mr. Greenwood? Sounds like that well-regulated militia's buying stuff they shouldn't. What you think about that, Mr. Greenwood? Mr. Texas? When you're in Texas, look behind you, 'cause that's where the Ranger's gonna be. By the way, ex-Texan here. Probably wouldn't know that by looking at me, but I lived in Texas for almost 3 years. Semi-automatic can be converted to automatic. This is just like the way that, this is the way they argue though. They argue with me like I don't know this shit about guns. See, Robert Greenwood hasn't said peep since then because I called his bluff. He thinks I'm one of these shit libs running around that don't know about weapons. Problem is, sir, I do know about weapons. Probably more than your ass did, because my daddy taught me how to handle a weapon. The machine guns sold in Texas are, oh, here we go. Class 4 weapons. And each one has to be sold through special dealers. Each one monitored by the feds. What about that federal deferment for firearms transfer between a family or friend? What about that one, sir? What you got to say about that there in Texas? Yeehaw, yeehaw, the silver star is shining. And you didn't answer the real question. If buying and selling machine guns in Texas is such a fucking crazy thing to get done, why are there so many goddamn machine guns? There is a deferment. Don't tell me there isn't. I lived in Texas, bro. It's called a family transfer deferment, and the language in it allows for family friends. That's a man you shook hands with in a parking lot. Don't tell me what I know. It's not legal, strictly, but it's not enforced. I tell you what, Walter, hang around a Walmart parking lot, a couple days at least, you'll see you a firearms transfer. You know what you're gonna see? A handshake. Why is that? Just give me the gun, man. I don't shake hands with the guy that serves me on my McDonald's burger, but the gun comes with a handshake. You know why? Because if a cop gets squirrely, you can say this, here's my friend. And Texas goes, look the other way. How's Texas keeping track of the fact that people can buy a firearm, right? Machine gun. How does Texas know that person's still in possession of that machine gun and hasn't straw sold it? I'll wait. Come on, Robert Greenwood. Come on, 10-gallon hat. I could load and fire off an entire magazine in the time it takes you to type a sentence, sir. I think I do know more about guns than you. Hello from Africa. Hello, Fred. I'm from California. It's nice to meet somebody from Africa. I hardly ever get people from the African continent here, and that's cool. Where exactly in Africa, Fred? I'm not one of those Americas that thinks Africa is one country. Where are you at? What country are you in? Nubian. Cool. Very cool. Well, I will tell you this, Fred. I have never in my life spoken to a Nubian person, I don't think. What do you think about that? Have you ever spoken to somebody from California before, or is this a first time? Oh, if you manufacture firearms, Walter Greenwood, then you know what I've been talking about better than most people do, sir. You know that it's implicit that people flaunt fucking federal law in Texas all the time, and the cops look the other way on it. Dude could fucking go through the federal background check to purchase a machine gun and do all the paperwork and then give it to some yokel. Big bless to you, brethren. Yeah, you too, buddy. Big bless to you too. I want to go and get some Nubian food. I bet Nubian food is dank, because everybody's food is dank. What about a semi-automatic weapon, Mr. Greenwood? What about a non-class 4, non-automatic, semi-automatic weapon, Mr. Greenwood? Mr. Greenwood, sir, the question at hand is, can I transfer a semi-automatic weapon, sir, with no paperwork in Texas, or very little paperwork in Texas? Very easy hand-to-hand transfer of a gun in Texas. You can buy a semi-auto at your local grocery store, sir. Thank you for answering honestly. Thank you for answering honestly. Question 2, Mr. Greenwood. You said you're a firearms manufacturer. Is that correct, sir? Is that correct, sir? Yes, thank you. Once again, very direct. Third and final question, sir. Are you aware of anything like a kit that might be bought legally or illegally that would turn a semi-automatic weapon into an automatic weapon, sir? As a firearms manufacturer, I figure you're the guy to ask. No. Sir. You realize you are under oath, sir. Oh, that's illegal, sir. I didn't ask about the legality, sir. I said, do you know about the existence of kits that are easily purchased and rather easily installed that will transfer a semi-automatic weapon into an automatic weapon, sir? We'll talk about legality later. Yes or no will suffice. Yes or no will suffice, sir. Got a frog in your throat? Can we get Mr. Greenwood a glass of water? Would you like a sweet tea, Mr. Greenwood? It's illegal to buy or sell. Sir, remember when I said to you, Judge, can you instruct the witness to answer the question? You will answer the question, Mr. Greenwood. May I pose the question again, Your Honor? You may, sir. Mr. Greenwood, are you aware of any kit that may be purchased legally or illegally and reasonably simply installed on a semi-automatic? No. Thank you, sir. I would like to move to have the client put the testimony put in the record, and I would move that the judge move forward with federal fucking perjury charges. Walter Greenwood, as a firearms manufacturer, knows well and good, sir, that you may buy from a number of sources, both legally and illegally, modifications to semi-automatic hunting rifles, pistols, and other form factors that will turn a semi-automatic weapon into a machine gun. He has lied before this court either about being a weapons manufacturer or about being ignorant of this very well-known fact. So I move that he be arrested and moved immediately to a trial for federal perjury. The motion is sustained. Walter Greenwood, I find you guilty of sophistry, weaseliness, backhandedness, and yellowness in this conversation. You have misrepresented yourself on the stand, sir, for the last time. Will the bailiffs please escort Mr. Greenwood to the forgotten oubliette where all lying hillbillies go? He is yellow. So let me tell you guys why that just happened. It is well known by anybody that knows anything about guns that there are a number of ways that you can convert a semi-automatic AR-15, like a Bushmaster AR-15 rifle, into an automatic rifle. Bump stocks are only one of the ways you can get around that. So a bump stock is a stock that provides recoil. So with a semi-automatic weapon, let me explain a little gun to you guys, okay? And why Walter Greenwood is full of shit. With a semi-automatic weapon, like a 9mm pistol, you've got 16 in the clip, you got 1 in the hole, right? You got 17 shots and a 9. As fast as you can pull that trigger and squeeze the trigger, you don't pull it. As fast as you can squeeze that trigger, you can shoot a bullet. Usually, for a non-trained speed shooter, it's going to be about like this. Pop, 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 right? and you can run through your mag. A bump stock can actually be added to a pistol too. There are different form factors that you can load the pistol into. It treats the end of the pistol like the barrel of a rifle. Put a bump stock on your shoulder. A bump stock provides a recoiled way to pull that trigger way faster. Okay? So instead of shouldering your rifle, pop, pop, or pop, 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 pop. Usually with a rifle, it's a little slower than a pistol. Recoils a little harder. With a bump stock, which are illegal in a lot of states, by the way, pop, 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 becomes pop, 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 pop. Are bump stocks common? Common as a fucking dirt clod. Especially in Texas. Many people wouldn't even own an AR-15 without one. It uses the recoil, the kinetic energy of the weapon to illegally, by the way, bounce that weapon, and all you have to do is hold that trigger at the middle position, and it controls the pull. So, you know, like if you're holding a machine gun, it recoils like this, it feeds itself. It's a kinetic response that turns a semi-automatic weapon into a machine gun. You're wrong. You don't even know which version of your to use, my friend. How are you going to try and correct me? Everything I just said is gospel truth. And that's just one of the ways. Certain types of weapons, there are mechanical kits that you can buy from other countries completely legally to replace the receiver mechanism with a machine receiver. And now you've got an AR-15. All you got to do is hold down the trigger. Brrr. Whole classroom of kindergartners done in 2 seconds. Yep, 10 of 10 targets hit, firearm certified, XCO here. Paul is 100% right. Thank you. Lies. Ban him. Cope. There's my one-word response to your one-word post. Vegas was committed with a bump stock. Yeah. I think there's a number of other, not school shootings, but mass shootings that have been perpetrated with bump stocks. I can't rattle them off for you because I've lost track 110 ago. Yep, if you illegally loosen the trigger on some guns, you can bump without a bump stock. That's part of that mechanical manipulation that Mr. Greenwood, as a firearms manufacturer, doesn't seem to know is possible with weapons. He conveniently had a memory lapse about the adaptability and customizability of firearms. But he's a firearms manufacturer, though. Give me a fucking break. And I gotta tell you guys.
He could be a manufacturer. He just works on the conveyor belt and
yeah. Good point. When he said firearms manufacturer, he's the dude that puts the screw in the handle. Poltergeist, do you want to debate me either on firearms, Palestine, or veganism? Is this a real Vegan Gains? I guess it is. You got the check mark. Sure. We can do it now, too, if you want. You know, YouTube does these where you can invite somebody.
Yeah, because I don't know if Vegan Gains knows that you're down the semi-vegetarian path.
I don't think he does, but I'd be willing to talk to him about where I'm at. I'm sure as a vegan, he probably isn't fully happy with me, but I think he'd be surprised with a talk with me. Yeah. For sure, boss. I'd love to have a chat with you, and I'll do it right now, man. I'm fucking available. I don't know when I'll be available. We can get it, you know. I do have a Zitter. I don't know if you do. It's at Paul's Ego. And I'll check it for DMs between other creators and stuff, people I want to make sure can get a hold of me. Sure, I can chat with you right now. How do you want to debate? Discord, Zoom? I've got Discord ready to go. It will just take me a minute or two to fire up a stream in there. And if you're willing to give me that, Really, I just have to hook up with you on Discord. I'm trying to remember what I'm trying to remember what my name is on there.
I got the app somewhere.
Do you on the phone?
Let's see.
Extremely based. Cool. Yeah, nobody ever asks me to debate, man. I mean, you might shit hammer me, bro, but I'd be happy to be shit hammered because I know your reputation. You're a guy that like kind of knows his shit from what I've seen anyway. So yeah, dude. I'm always open to talk. It's just like a lot of times people don't want to talk to me, man. But for sure. So let me get you my Discord handle and you can send me a friend request. Okay, hold on. Can you take this down, baby? Mr. Horse 1836. All one word, all lowercase.
So,
Mr. Horse, MR, not Mr. MR Horse 1836 is his Discord. Okay, dude. I'll tell you what, give me like 5-10 minutes to get my stream going. You can do the same. We'll link up and let's do this. Thanks for the challenge. If you want to watch that, stay tuned to this channel. If you like what you see here, subscribe. It won't be this type of stream. It'll be like
like this.
yeah. Oh, wait. 1836.
So no hashtag.
Well, I don't know if there's a hashtag, but it's Mr. Horse, MRHORSE 1836.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, in about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 15, I don't know. I don't want to rush Vegan Gains. But I would be super duper happy if you joined us over there. And if not, I'll see